Chapter 7, The Life After the Storm. We are gathered here today to celebrate the passing to the next life for Maria Teruya. Maria was born October 9th, on the year of the 500th dragon. While she was alive, she was a genin from Kirigakure no Sato. After she retired from the Kirigakure's armed forces, she worked at the Seven Swordsman of Mist's own hotel. She was killed as she saved a child from a group of enemy ninja. She had no living family. The money and things she had saved will go to the boy she saved per her request. She will be remembered not for her services but what she did as her quest to being a ninja. May Kami have mercy on her soul, the priest said to all the people in the hotel. Some people were grieving as they could not believe a young soul that was full of life die in a blink of an eye. Yet there was another soul deeply hurt by this. Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto Uzumaki had his head down with his bangs covering his eyes. He was unusually quiet for the first time in his young life. It was hard for him to accept someone died for him. Sure, he heard that Bruno Mars song before, but he never thought that someone would actually do that for someone. His tears fell on the floor. His arms shook as they did when she saw it herself. The clear tear that was his innocence is on the floor. He got up and walked out of the funeral. He couldn't see her like this, unbreathing and dead. As he walked through the heavy amount of people, he accidentally bumped into someone. He looked at the person he hit into. The person, from what he saw, has grayish-black hair, with green eyes. He mumbled to the person, "Sorry, sir." The person looked at the boy and frowned. He said, "Hey kid, what's your name?" The boy stopped to say, "My name is Naruto Uzumaki." The man's eyes went wide. He closed them quickly for Naruto not to notice. Naruto was too depressed to even notice. The guy went down on one knee and said, "Hey kid, I hear you had a birthday yesterday. I've got something for you. Think of it as a belated birthday gift." The man gave Naruto a wallet. It was a green frog wallet. The man put a kanji inside the mouth of it and a kanji on the bottom of it. When Naruto touched it, it glowed for a moment, then it went back to its natural color. Naruto looked at him with a look. He shrugged and said, "Thank you, I never got your name." The man smirked and said, "One day Gaki, will you know my name?" "Trust me on that." Naruto looked at the man and sighed. He said, "Okay, Mr. Well, I guess I'll see you when I see you." Naruto just walked away in his deep dark depression. The man was beyond angry. His hands were shaking. He disappeared in a swirl of leaves. There is someone he needed to talk to, and he was not taking no for answers. Naruto. Naruto was walking outside. He saw the world in cold dead light. He saw the cloudy sky as the rain fell. He put his head down. He wondered how many more will die until he becomes strong enough. He started to get so angry at himself. His palms were bleeding from his nails digging into it. He started to run. As he ran, there was a voice in his head that said, "That's right, Naruto, run. That's all you can do. You are nothing, and all you are is a weakling. Just keep running, as everyone you know will just keep dying because they were associated with you." The tears were falling down even faster. He started to believe it. How could he try and be someone if all he does is run? He was running at what felt like hours. He finally stopped as he reached his destination. He reached the place where the ice meets the lava. The steam was coming up at the ledge. He sat down right there on the ledge. He looked at the river of lava. He saw the land and ice melt and mush together into the lava. He just kept looking, hoping to find something. He just sat there slumped on the ledge. He started to wonder if life was even worth it. Sure, he could keep training, but what is the point? He has been training his heart out, but who will it help? He edged closer to the ledge. He was so close to going in until he heard a voice. Gaki, what do you think you're doing? Konoha. Sarutobi was smoking a pipe. He laid back in his chair. Right now he has no problems going on. He has no paperwork on his desk. He didn't have no worries yet. A black bird came in with a letter on his claw. As he was about to read the letter, someone came in, and the person did not look too happy. It was Jiraiya. Jiraiya was a tall man with extremely long and spiky black and white hair tied back into a ponytail. He also had red lines that ran from his eyes and wore a horned forehead protector with the kanji 4 oil on it. Jiraiya wore a green short shirt kimono and matching colored pants, under which he wore mesh armor that showed out of the sleeves and legs of his outfit. His outfit was completed with handguards, a simple black belt, wooden sandals, and a red cloak with 2 simple yellow circles. They were towed with a sword red to strike under the yellow circles. He also has one on the back with a picture Gamabunta with his kodachi in a samurai stance. He has the words above Toad Sage. He has the official Toad summoning scroll on his back. He has his custom-made kodachi hanging on his right hip. He closed the door behind him. He had a serious look on his face. Sarutobi said, "Hello Jiraiya-kun, what is it you need?" Jiraiya closed his eyes and held his right hand out on the side of him. He gathered chakra around his open palm. It became a swirling ball. He said, "Sarutobi, I'm giving you 10 seconds to give me a reason why I shouldn't put this Rasengan down your motherfucking throat." Sarutobi blinked once and said, "What?" Jiraiya went on to say, "I was just at the land of ice. Now tell me why while I was there was a party. Now I love a good party. The party itself was for a small brat. So I knew there would be MILFs there most likely. Then I heard the kid's name. The name was Naruto, and he was around the 7 swordsmen of the mist. I said to myself, nah Jiraiya, it can't possible be the same brat. Then I saw he looked just like his father. So tell me Sarutobi, why the fuck is my godson is with the 7 swordsmen of the mist? I was supposed to be his care provider. Yet, I see him with the 7 swordsmen of the motherfucking mist. So Sarutobi, you have 10 seconds to explain how the fuck this happened, or you will have reconstruction surgery. Sarutobi's eyes narrowed. He said, "Is that a threat, Jiraiya?" Sarutobi put as much ki into his question. Jiraiya didn't even notice. He He was too pissed off to actually give a damn. To him it was lower than a baby's tantrum. Jiraiya's eyes started to glow. He said, Sarutobi, you know, and I know you can't beat me at this stage. You might be strong, but you are of no match to me right now, so start talking. Naruto. Naruto looked over to see Zabuza right behind him. He sighed as he saw Zabuza come sit down with him. Zabuza put an arm around Naruto's shoulder. He said, now I hope that you weren't actually thinking about taking the plunge, were you? Naruto just lowered his head a little bit more. Zabuza sighed. He knew it was going to be hard for the boy, but this is just insane. He said, Naruto, there is no reason you should kill yourself. I know it must be hard to experience it at such a young age. It was going to happen at some point though. I know yesterday you had your first kill and you saw a friend die. Unfortunately, it is the way of life. We all are going to die. We most likely will see a person you like or love die. It is a painful thing, but it is all about how you deal with the fact. I'm going to tell you a few stories that will show you what I mean. There was a kid who showed an extreme amount of talent. He was trained in the academy with all of his friends. He ate with them. He drank with them. He trained with them. They became friends and created a bond with each other like one big happy family. Well, when the boy turned 9, the teachers did something heinous or bad. He had to fight his classmates and had to kill them. He killed his whole class at the age of 9. Naruto's eyes went wide. He couldn't say anything because he didn't know what to say. As a result, Zabuza started to continue. Naruto, that was me. That was the genin test for Kiri. It was one of the reasons we were called the Bloody Mist. Trust me when I tell you every single one of us in the 7 Swordsmen of the Mist went through it. Now the only way we keep sane is by having a hobby. For example, Kushimaru sews, Kisame cooks, I exercise more than usual, Jinpachi collects herbs, Jinin creates weapons, Amuri reads and sing, and Mengetsu, well, he plays pranks on everybody. Usually people have other hobbies, but those hobbies are lesser forms of evils. They are called vices. For example, some people smoke, drink, read porn in public. I can't judge them as that is the way they cope. Our personal code, as we are a brotherhood, is not to have a vice that is unproductive to our team. That is why we didn't train you how to fight per se. We needed you to get some hobbies to look at and do before you started to kill. We wanted you to find a way to cope and not break down like you were about to do. We just were a little too late. Now the question is, what are you going to kill for? What I mean is, what will you kill for? Naruto had to think about it. He put his head down. He said, Kiri. The true leader of Kiri was smirking his face off. He said, well, Naruto-kun, how nice of you to activate it. Heh, all things are going to plan. Although, that Maria might have been a little wrench in the plan as she started a foundation of those being precious to you. It's just a mirage. There is only 2 types of people. The strong and the weak. Yagura, how is the purge going? Yagura growled slightly. He hated how Naruto has become the catalyst of everything. He hated how all he could see was Naruto becoming the first hand to the master. Why was the master so obsessed with a little boy? From what he knew, the master is not a pedophile. Yet what did Naruto have that he didn't? He said through his teeth, "Everything is going fine. We have unfortunately not found any living Uzumakis around." What are you looking for with the Uzumakis? What makes them important? The master looked at Yagura and held out his hand. He forced chakra into it and pointed it at Yagura. Nothing happened at first, then Yagura started to scream in excruciating pain. He fell onto his knees in pain. As soon as it began, it ended with the flick of the master's wrist. Yagura passed out on the floor. The master was simply apathetic about his servant being on the floor, passed out on the floor. He said, "You should never question my goals, foolish boy." Now on to part B. He pressed a button under his desk. As soon as it was pressed, 3 people came in. The 3 had black cloaks concealing their identity. He said to them, "Start part B immediately." The next day, Naruto was at the training ground where he saw his senseis waiting for him. Although he was ready to train, there was a clear indication that Naruto still was depressed. He saw a kunai coming at him at a fast rate for him. He was able to dodge and throw a kunai back at them. Naruto had a kunai out to protect himself. Zabuza said, "Good, you're actually awake." "Okay, Naruto, you asked us to teach you how to fight. Well, that's what we are going to do. We are going to incorporate our fighting styles into our skills and abilities. For this to happen, you must give it your all. At the end of the day, for the next few years, you will be exhausted, pain-filled, and tired. But you will also be stronger and more powerful. That means you better get ready, because here we come." Zabuza shot right at Naruto. Naruto barely had time to register what was going on. When he did register, he saw Zabuza slow down significant. He saw Zabuza pull out a kunai, a blunt one at that, in slow motion. Naruto was able to adjust himself by spinning around and clashed with Zabuza's kunai. Zabuza was deeply surprised by Naruto's ability to block. Zabuza then adjusted himself so he could face Naruto face to face. He pressed the kunai's blade with Naruto's. Naruto himself was feeling the mass power of Zabuza. He remembered a lesson from Jinin. It is when something has a lot of pressure peering down at you that means that they have a weakness or unbalance at their center. Naruto thought about it. As long as Zabuza keeps pushing him down lower to the ground, he has to exert so much force, leaving him open. He got Zabuza to get as low as possible, then he struck. He using the dexterity from Kushimaru's sewing training to swipe Zabuza in, twirl inside Zabuza's center, and elbowed him in the stomach. Zabuza oof only to feel Naruto try and fireman lift him. Zabuza put his weight on Naruto to hold him down. It seemed to work as Naruto was struggling to pick up the big brute. Naruto instead pulled out a needle and remembered from the train with Jinpachi that there is a spot on the back of the knee in which you could make it bend. He poked the apex of it, not only making it bend, but making Zabuza say obscenities that would make a sailor blush. Naruto was able to lift and throw him. Zabuza said, "Good job, Gaki. Where did you learn your taijutsu from?" Naruto replied, "Well, actually I used what I learned from you guys. learned from Jinin that if a person is applying pressure onto someone, that person's center is open and weak. By making you put so much pressure on me, you gave me an opening. Then, with the dexterity that I learned from Kushimaru-sensei, I was able to spin in and went in and used what you taught me to punch you in the stomach. When I noticed that I couldn't lift you up, I hit you right into the back of the knee and flipped you over. Zabuza grunted, then he laughed. He said, "Kid, that is pretty impressive. I never thought that the Gaki would use what we taught him to fight." He jumped up and got back to his feet. He grunted as he bended his knee. That hurt like hell. He said, Guys, what did you think of the fight? What are his strengths and his weaknesses? What are we going to work on with him?" Amuri was the first to speak. Well, Naruto-kun here obvious ability to use what he is taught for other than practical use. With that it will be great to train him. Now on the other hand, Naruto, you were not aware of your surroundings. You could have easily have grabbed the weapons over there or so many other things. We need to train you in looking around in your surroundings. Kushimaru was the next to speak. Well, I loved how Naruto used his knowledge of the human body. It is a big thing when you are able to lift Zabuza up on the floor. That is a serious plus. Now for your weaknesses, I see that you are off on your spins. You made yourself wide open on the spin. You must be a little bit quicker. What to work on? Well, you have a few flaws that must be fixed, such holding the blade, cutting someone, and how to dodge. Jinin went next. Naruto showed the ability to be agile and limber in battle. That is as plus. Now as to your strength. You are able to show some strength in fighting. Your weakness is that you only use it in one area. What you must work on is the stretching of your area. Jinpachi said, Naruto, while the small exhibition is a small sample, it is more than enough to see something. Well, the first thing I see is the fact that you are able to use the medical knowledge that I taught you in more than just medicine. What I didn't see is that at the end, you did not disarm Zabuza. When you don't disarm your opponent, you will get hurt. The final one was Kisame. Kisame said, well, I guess you guys saved the best for last. Well, the Gaki's strength in this little scuffle is that he can transfer different focuses. What everyone did not notice or see is Naruto's reaction time. Zabuza came at a speed in which most 7-year-olds can keep up with. Now what I personally didn't like is the fact that you didn't slice that big muscle brute up. On a serious note, your weakness is the way you conducted the battle. Maybe it's because you didn't consider Zabuza a threat to your life, but it definitely showed. It is a cause for concern since that lack of the intent to kill will get you killed. Zabuza had to agree with Kisame with that last part. He said, Naruto, what Kisame said is true. I remember when I was a genin, I beat this jonin because I was little and didn't take me seriously. Naruto mumbled under his breath, yeah, okay, you were probably born this way. Maybe those steroids I know he takes is the reason he has no eyebrows. If that jonin didn't take that behemoth seriously, then I dare to see his height. Zabuza's eyes and ears started to twitch. He grunted, what was that, Gaki? Naruto's eyes went wide. He forgot that they could hear almost everything. He looked up to see all the 7 were gone except Amuri and the behemoth. Naruto quickly ran behind Aim to stay safe. That was until Amuri burst into a puff of electric particles. This left Naruto alone with the behemoth. Chapter 8, To Yugon no Kuni. Naruto was sweating his ass off. Surprisingly, it is not because of his vigorous training schedule. No, it is because of the heat of being on the boat going towards Yugon no Kuni. The boat ride lasts about 2 weeks. The ice is being sustained because the molten simply isn't strong enough to melt it. Naruto couldn't exactly deal with the lava and its ultimate heat. He said, "Man, it's so hot in here. When will we reach Yugon no Kuni?" Zabuza was sleeping on the deck. He even grunted while he slept. The others were talking using their hand signs. Amuri said, "Do you think we should create it here?" Mangetsu said, "Not yet. We will be at the land of lava for about a good 6 months. Let's see his progress before we do anything." Amuri sighed and leaned back. Amuri kept thinking about if Naruto saw the forehead protector. He thought about the repercussions of such an event. He sent a letter to the Sandaime that some of his ninjas attacked. He hasn't received anything back yet. He knew that he will get something back soon. He didn't know what's going to happen next. He shook his head to get the thoughts out of his mind. He looked around to see what his band of brothers were doing now. Kushimaru was sewing himself a pillow to put his head on. Jinpachi was looking with his eye for intruders or enemy ninjas. He became even more paranoid after the incident. Jinan was smoking a cigar and talking with the sailors. Kisame was eating his homemade ration bar. Mangetsu was drawing a kanji, painting, or a seal. Amuri didn't know for sure. They heard the sailor say, "Yugon no Kuni is right ahead." Naruto exclaimed, finally. Yup, Naruto is back to his old self. Naruto was jumping up and down. He has every right to, as this is a turning point for Naruto Uzumaki. Konoha. Jiraiya stood there in front of his leader. His face was impassive and blank. He just finished his great conversation with the Sandaime. He closed his eyes for a moment, thinking of something to say. He said, "Sarutobi, you know I want to kill you right here and now. But I realized that it would hurt my image. I might be a smut writer and go deep into the underground, but to kill you here and now would make me become lower than almost anything. I simply can't kill a pathetic old man." I surprise myself on how many times I could have been killed because I decided to keep people like you alive. You just told me that I need to be outside the village to make sure Naruto doesn't get hurt by the likes of IWA. Then if you think about it, what would IWA want with Naruto, as they don't know who the hell he is? I was the stupid one there. Then when I thought about it, maybe I could check on him every once in a while, and for the life of me I couldn't find him. I never thought I could be so stupid as to not look into a hospital. After all, it is so natural nowadays to find a kid in the hospital for over 100 stabbings. How stupid of me to not think of taking him with me. It would have been much better. That is once again my fault. Even after all that, you come here and tell me that you practically gave Naruto up to the 7 swordsmen of the mist. They are practically the most dangerous non-Kage team to ever exist. Now I'm wondering what they could ingrain into Naruto's young mind. With all the potential Naruto has, you gave him up. What's worse is that you didn't even notify me about such event. I could have had my contacts watch him. 6 months blindly walking around thinking my godson is fine. Then I get a message from one my informants, Maria, telling me that a boy with blonde hair and blue eyes over there. So I go there and they're throwing a bash for young Naruto. Then I find out that not only did he have his first kill, but my informant, who became friends of some sort with the boy, died right in front of his by enemy ninjas. What's worse is that the assailants were none other than Konoha ninjas. Yeah, Sarutobi, it was our own trying to kill our own. Now how does that work that the group of Kiri ninja has to save a native of Konoha no Sato from Konoha ninja? And for some reason you though that I wouldn't find out about his disappearance. You have to be the most pathetic person that could exist. Because how am I to protect Naruto if I don't know where the fuck he is? Don't worry though, Sarutobi. Because I'm about to get the hell out of here and I'm going to follow Naruto. I'm making sure the boy will be safe. Don't try to stop me. If you send a ninja after me, well, let me make something clear, they will be in a body bag. I'll make sure of that. If something happens to Naruto, well, let's hope it doesn't happen. Jiraiya jumped out of the window and disappeared. Sarutobi's eyes were wide. Which Konoha ninja attacked Naruto? He saw a scroll on the desk left by Jiraiya. He opened it to see a Konoha forehead protector. He sighed as there was nothing he will be able to do. If you don't have a body to tell who gave the orders, or was it that they did it by themselves? He saw the other letter from Amuri. He opened it and started to read it. His eyes got wider and wider as everything Jiraiya said about the battle was true. His anger grew and he needed a release. Sometimes he believed that Jiraiya could be a blowhard and exaggerate the truth. Yet if Amuri's story coincide with Jiraiya, then it's time to start investigating. He kept reading the scroll. He saw a word that made him stop reading, na. His chakra exploded. Everyone outside felt the chakra of their sandaime explode. Some passed out on the floor. Some were on their knees. The one affected most was his secretary. She almost died, literally. Her lungs lacked the oxygen. He calmed himself as much as he possibly can. He said, "Ms. Hikari, bring me Danzo immediately." Naruto. Naruto and the seven landed on Yugon no Kuni. Naruto naturally wanted to jump out and go. Mangetsu grabbed him by the collar and brought him back. Mangetsu put his hand over Naruto's mouth. He whispered, "Naruto, you got to be quiet." Naruto simply blinked, indicating he didn't know what was going on. Mangetsu sighed as he pulled Naruto back onto the boat. Naruto noticed that the seven were put something on. Naruto was going to ask what was it, but Mangetsu cut him off first. "Naruto, it's time to learn a trick of the trade." Mangetsu pulled out a piece of paper. It looked harmless until Mangetsu said, "Kai." The paper revealed about 50 to 60 kanji symbols in seal complex. He said, "Naruto, right here is a Kiri ninja secret. This seal is a covering/change seal. We put these on because a lot of people do not, well, like us all that much. So what we created is seal that covers, or a better term masks, our chakra signature. We can make it a small baby if we want. It is not easy as it sounds. You must concentrate all your chakra into the seal. It also gives you the ability to mask your appearance. That way you can get by without being noticed. Think about it. Naruto. Naruto, how in the world could we, some of the most powerful ninjas to exist, get into Konoha undetected? It is only as effective as to how much chakra you have. I'm going to put this on your back. Mangetsu put the seal on Naruto's back. The seal started to disappear into Naruto's skin. Mangetsu patted Naruto on his back to make sure the seal was on. He said, Naruto, to activate it you must put chakra into the seal like I taught you. Naruto had a question. Mangetsu-sensei, why would I need one? No one really know me, so what's the point? Mangetsu said, great observation, Naruto. The reason is this place has been on a lockdown for a few months. They are looking for people who has at least a genin level chakra. They are rumored to be taking the people and they disappear. We don't know what happens and don't want to. So if you don't want to get caught, then make sure you don't lose concentration. Okay, Naruto? Naruto nodded. In the back of his mind though, he wanted to know what was happening to those people. He vowed that he will find out about it. He concentrated his chakra onto the seal. His appearance changed. Naruto's hair became black with 2 blonde streaks on the end. His eyes became black. His whisker marks disappeared. His whole attire became a robe with a lion on it. Naruto was looking kinda cool there. He saw the rest were ready to go. He started to walk into the village and he was slightly disturbed. He saw women on the floor crying as they can't find their children. The men were wearing tattered clothing as they were bending iron. As they kept walking, he saw the guards peering down at him as if they were superior to him. He wanted to punch them in their faces, but he knew that would start a commotion. He looked up to see a castle across the river. Actually, it was a volcano. The place is called the Royal Palace. The Royal Palace is situated in a vast, beautiful estate, filled with lush gardens and ponds. The wall encircling this estate separates the palace from the rest of the city. The palace itself is a single structure. An elaborate tower with triple eaves is at the center, with 3 distinct wings joining it. The 2 smaller wings stand on either side of the main entrance to the palace building. There are towers at the ends of these wings as well. Directly opposite of the main entrance is the 3rd, larger wing, which houses the Lava Lord's throne room. Naruto's eyes were wide. Mangetsu bent down and whispered into Naruto's ear, I know it's big, but don't make a scene. We're about to enter and convince the Lava Lord to stay here. You most likely will enroll in school here for a little bit. Don't do anything stupid. After a few minutes, they reached the palace. Naruto went inside and his eyes went wide. Inside, the palace is comprised of enormous halls and retains an intricate array of wings and chambers. Large tapestries line the walls and elaborate fire-themed images and moldings are laid out all throughout the numerous sections of the structure. Naruto wanted to say something but couldn't. This place was better than Konoha's Hokage Tower. He looked around some more, seeing if there anything that he has missed. He saw that they were heading straight. Naruto saw they reached the throne of the Lava Lord. The seven bowed as Mangetsu knocked down Naruto. Naruto bowed as well. The Lava Lord was outwardly smirking. He said, "Hello gentlemen, what is it that you need?" Amuri said, "Lava Lord Ozisama, we are nomads from all over. We want to settle down, and there is no better place than Yugon no Kuni. We have things to offer your land. We have different trades that can be influential to your land." The Lava Lord smiled as he said, "How interesting. May I ask who this little one is?" Amuri said, "Ozisama, this little one is Naruto Uzumaki." Ozai's eyes went wide, then closed slowly. Inwardly he smiled. This was perfect. He said, "Well, little Naruto-kun, are you going to join the academy with my son, Zuko?" Naruto said, "I'm sure, Ozi-sama." Ozai's eyes started to twitch at the name. He had a ghost of a smile. He said, "Well, Naruto-kun, why don't you and your friends can stay at the palace here? It would be great for Azula-chan and Zuko-kun to have a playmate." Amuri's eyes narrowed. The Lava Lord is never generous. This was very suspicious, but they should milk this for what it is worth. He gave the members a look suggesting what they should do. They came to a consensus, but Naruto beat them to the punch. Naruto said, "Sure, that's fine." Naruto better be glad that the seven chose the same answer, or else there might be repercussions. There still might be repercussions. Lava Lord's smile widened as he possibly could. He said, "That is great, Naruto-kun. Why don't you let my personal guard take you to Azula-chan's and Zuko-kun's playroom?" The guard took Naruto to the place. Meanwhile, the Lava Lord went on to talk with the seven. Sarutobi. Sarutobi was calmly waiting for his guest to appear. He has something been too lax about the situation. He packed his pipe with the finest tobacco in Hai no Kuni. He lit his pipe as he waited. He heard his door shuffle open. It revealed Danzo Hamura. Hiruzen calmly said, "Danzo, please have a seat. Would you like a pipe? Would you like something to drink?" Danzo said, "No, that's fine. I have a lot of things to do after this meeting." Hiruzen took a puff of his pipe. He nodded as Danzo has much stuff to do. Hiruzen knew how he was going to start. He said, "Danzo, do you know what today is?" Danzo said plainly, "March 2nd. "Why do you ask, Hokage-sama?" Hiruzen once again nodded his head. He pulled a glass bottle of sake from under the desk. He said, "Danzo, today is of great significance. Remember 57 years ago on this very day. Today is the day where our teams were surrounded by a ninja. Do you remember when our sensei Tobirama Senju said? He named me his successor as the Sandaime Hokage. Right? And do you know what this bow staff does?" Danzo nodded. He resented the fact that Tobirama had chosen Hiruzen to be the third Hokage. He was a smart man, but he didn't know where Sarutobi was going with this. Sarutobi continued, "Now that being the case, please explain to me actually 3 things. The first is why the hell is Root still in existence? Second is why the fuck did you attack the 7 swordsmen of the mist with the inclusion of Naruto Uzumaki and trying to capture Naruto? And lastly, why shouldn't I kill you with my bow staff? Danzo's eyes went slightly wide. He inwardly cursed, as this is definitely not a position he wanted to be in. Due to the fact that he can keep a straight face, he thought that he could put this off him for the meantime. Then when the meeting was over he could tie loose ends. He said, "Hokage-sama, I do not know what you are talking about. I stopped my proceedings en route after the Yondaime disbanded them." Sarutobi had other tricks up his sleeve. He secretly sent ANBU members to abandoned route stations. He is going to merely stall Danzo. Then he will strike. He said, "Danzo, why would you lie to me? I have someone who can pinpoint dash." He was cut off by Danzo. Danzo said, "Who was it?" "I can guarantee that it was a member of the 7 swordsmen of the mist." Sarutobi could tell that Danzo has an edge in his voicing. Normally Sarutobi would get angry too, but he was going to milk this for what it's worth. More and more information started to come in through his invisible earpiece. He said in a calm, cool voice, "Perhaps." Danzo thought he had something with this. He said, "How do you know that he wasn't lying and trying to get something out of it? It seems like the information you received is corrupt. Does it not, Sarutobi?" Sarutobi put his hands under his chin. He said, "Danzo, you are right. How can I trust the likes of the 7 swordsmen of the mist? Yet, how can I trust a little kid to not steal a piece of candy from the store, or an old man to protect a man's son from the terrors of the world? Better yet, how can you trust your rival to the throne of the leader of Konohagakure no Sato not to try to usurp the position by taking a Jinchuriki and conform him to the way he believes ninjas? Should think to plot an overhaul of Konoha? You can't really trust anybody, can you? Because no matter what, betrayal is always bound to happen to everyone, even if you want to deny it. Isn't that right, Danzo?" Danzo was stoic on the outside. Inside, however, Danzo was gritting his teeth. He sighed as he said, "I don't believe you are correct in your assumption. I believe that the people of Konoha should stick together." Sarutobi closed his eyes as more gruesome and disturbing news came in. He sighed as he saw between the facade of his former friend. He said, "Danzo, you know and I know that you have experienced betrayal. In fact, the betrayal that happened today all those years ago created who you are today. You have become this cold, dead, decayed, and most likely deranged person. I see through all of it and see a spoiled, heartbroken boy in you that is still grieving over the fact that you weren't chosen." Danzo almost lost it right there. He barely held on to his composure. He said, words coming from the so-called peaceful Hokage. "You know and I know that Konoha is a facade of the ugliness that is the shinobi world. It should have been burned to the ground. Yet here we are thinking that Konoha is the best. If it wasn't for my ninjas, Konoha would have been dust by now." Sarutobi knew he won, but sometimes he questioned if it is worth it. He said, "Danzo, just shut up. You unfortunately incriminated yourself. Now I'm going to tell you some facts. The first is that ANBU have been investigating your secondary bases that lead to your main base. We have found all your loose ties, such as the maiden of the orphanage, all the way to the list of missing kids from the QB attack. We even found the file on the plans for Naruto. It is over, Danzo. I gave you a way out by letting you confess personally, but you decided to lie to me. Everything will be out in the open. Everyone will see the facade that is Danzo Hamura. Danzo tried to say something, but Hiruzen stopped him in his tracks. He said, Danzo, I'm giving you 5 seconds to leave Konoha and all of its inhabitants or I will kill you. Lava Lord. During the night, Lava Lord Ozai was alone in his throne room. He made sure no one was around. He then did a few hand signs and said, Kushioshi no Jutsu. As he said it, a blue mystical ball appeared. Inside the orb was the master. The master asked, What is it, Ozai? Ozai smirked as he said, The chosen one is here.